In some cases, addiction stems from a traumatic event or from a feeling of worthlessness. In order to truly move on from a life of addiction, a person has to work on their whole being. Michelle Prado-Harris discusses the 5 areas of self-care and why they're important.
It's really just the behaviors to take care of yourself, and we look at 5 different areas. Taking care of yourself physically, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, and socially. So that's kind of the summary.
And what does that look like when you're here in treatment?
Well, we try to give them a vision for what self-care looks like continuing from here, and also look like where they're not taking care of themselves now, to help them understand how that plays a role in their recovery.
And a lot of times when people become addicted to substances, it's not because, they just decide one day, hey, I'm going to go try something and become addicted to it. It's because there's some issue that they're not dealing with.
Yes, that's exactly right. Oftentimes there is an underlying feeling of worthlessness. And so part of self-care is you behave in a way that you're acting like you're worth something, you're worth taking care of, you're worth investing in. And then that behavior can actually feed the belief that you are worth something, and it can turn things around and help address some of the underlying issues of addiction.
And there's a lot of different outlets here at Mount Regis that kind of tap into those different things. And I know that there's even an art class that kind of lets you express your emotions artistically too.
Yeah, exactly. And then when people leave here, we continue to post things on our Facebook page and send things to alumni that give them ideas of how to continue with the self-care. So we try to teach that here and then provide for ways as they move forward.
And it's important to, when you leave treatment, to have that support system when you get back out in the real world, because that's where all the temptation comes in.
Exactly. And that's where the recovery community, NA, AA, that provides a social community of that social support. Going to outpatient counseling helps self-care emotionally, because you're able to feel and express emotions that are continuing to come out throughout your life. And then just basic nutrition, exercise, just some of the basic everyday life things can come into play.
And it's interesting too, because exercise can actually make you feel better and think better thoughts. And it's something that, people might not even think about.
That's exactly right. And I try to educate people about this because exercise can release the same chemicals as antidepressants. It triggers endorphin and serotonin release, and it has a similar effect as medications without a lot of the negative side effects. And I know lots of people who manage anxiety and depression specifically through exercise.
And one thing that Mount Regis does that's really great is they have group sessions too, to kind of get that social aspect out there and get people talking, because a lot of times I feel like addicts feel like they're alone in this, and then they come to a great treatment center like Mount Regis and realize there's other people that are struggling with the same thing.
That's exactly right. And our groups are really designed to facilitate them expressing their thoughts and feelings, to teach them they have a voice, their voice is important, give them a safe place to do that in practice, and then hopefully they can continue that when they leave here, so things don't bottle up and kind of become an issue emotionally moving forward.
And what made you want to come here to Mount Regis and help in this process?
That's a great question. I just think I've heard some of the success stories from here, and so many of the staff here have just said, you see lives changed every day. And so it's just really exciting to be a part of.
And it is great to be able to, come to work every day and know that, what you're doing actually makes a difference and gets people caring about themselves in those 5 areas.
Yeah. Yeah. And a lot of times it's just a matter of teaching and giving them the tools, and they leave here with those tools, and then they're able to continue on and just have great success.
And we've talked before that sometimes for an addict, the scariest part of this whole process is just making that first phone call to come and get treatment. And you guys, the staff here is just so nice, so they don't need to be afraid, do they?
Absolutely not. Our goal is for people to feel safe and protected, to give them a safe place to kind of go through that initial withdrawal and just the shock of changing their lifestyle so drastically, and then teach them and build them up so they are equipped to return to the real world with some different behaviors and patterns.
And Mount Regis Center is located on Kimball Avenue in Salem. For more information, you can call 540-389-4761, and you can go online to mtregis.com.